Okay, so it's been 30 days since I've had any alcohol. I haven't had a drop in about 30 days. The last time was at a party on May 11th. Okay, so it's been 30 days, and I just want to share sort of my results, share what's kind of changed and how my life has changed and what I plan to do moving forward. So basically, I decided to do this last year in 2023. I also went on a 90-day detox, and my life it was really kind of an eye-opening experience because I'd never gone that long since I turned, like 21 without drinking alcohol. And I made a lot of progress. I was really kind of moving forward in life and I felt good. But at the end of that summer, we went on a vacation to Thailand and I started drinking again because we were on vacation and I want to have a great time on the beach and everything. And then from that point on until, May 2024, I've been drinking very infrequently, like, every week, every other week, sometimes here and there. And I'm just want to give a disclaimer. I'm not like, I've never really been an alcoholic or someone who's heavily addicted. I'm just kind of in that middle zone where it's like you do it sometimes and then like you stop for a little bit, but then you do it more. There's been times where it's been like a few days where I'm drinking like 3 days in a row. And so it's just kind of infrequent, but then it's also just at random times all over the place. And what I started to notice was making a correlation between every time I drink, my life gets worse, like almost immediately after. So it's like either I get drunk to the point or intoxicated to the point where the next day I feel like shit physically, which then impacts my ability to, count my macros, stay disciplined, do my workouts that I need to do. Or it's like I don't really feel that way, but I still kind of feel like either regretful or kind of guilty about it and like more in like a lower emotional and frequency state. So I just like realized I'm like, dude, what the hell? Like I need to like get this figured out. So that was the whole backstory of me doing this 30-day detox. Now, I just want to show you real quick because I track all my habits, like my daily habits, okay, in order for me to stay consistent and stay disciplined. And this is the habit tracker from May. So in May, these are all my daily habits. I mark off the red, obviously, is failure, green is success. And that's May, and then this is this month so far. So look at the difference between how consistent I've been able to stay, especially on this column here with my sleep and my work is massively, massively improved. So my productivity has massively improved. My emotional state has improved. And I've been able to actually, improve physically in terms of the gym and my lifts and progressive overload. And so it's been 30 days and I'm like, bro, I don't think I'm going to go back. I don't even think I'm going back like to drinking, even infrequently, because there's just no benefit. There's really no benefit. Anytime, let me give you an example. So right here is the May 11th, right? So right here is May 11th. You can see how much red was on those few days. And it's like, well, it's because when I woke up, I felt like shit and I wasn't able to stay productive. I wasn't able to stay disciplined. I started to eat more junk food, so I was missing my macros. And it's like, it's just really not worth it. I don't think it's really worth it anymore. And the thing is, we live in a society where it's so heavily promoted, and everywhere you go, there's just alcohol. Everybody's doing it, and so you just kind of fall into it, especially when you're growing up, because we just live in a drinking culture. But the thing is, bro, is what I realize is like, if you want to stay consistent and disciplined, you want to get ripped, you want to be in the best shape of your life mentally, physically, and emotionally, these are the things that are going to hold you back. Like these are the distractions that will limit your potential. And it's not even just alcohol, like alcohol, weed, porn, video games, any of these things that are too like distracting you too much and are really just putting a limit on your growth is like it's causing a problem. And I just realized like, all right, I need to like figure this out. So it's been 30 days. Basically everything's kind of reset. And I was able to start waking up at 4 a.m. as well, which is really interesting because before I was unable to hit that early morning wake up time just simply because I felt like shit and I couldn't wake up. My body would like shut down and my alarm would go off, but I'd just like snooze, 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 and just go back to sleep. So yeah, man, it's just been a crazy experience the past 30 days. And to be honest, I just feel like more like this sense of like purpose and fulfillment, just like staying strong with the discipline. Like anytime I even see alcohol now, I'm just like, I see it and I'm like, okay, that's cool. But I'm like, nah, it's not for me, bro. It's not for me. And it's just like this feeling of just like being able to say no and being able to be like, if I say no, then I can actually follow through on my word because I'm building that level of discipline. And I've been waking up early. I've been hitting my workouts, hitting my macros. And it's just so much help. Like if you're on a journey of personal development and you're trying to grow, the worst thing you can do is introduce all of these distractions. As if life isn't hard enough already with what we need to do day to day to day, you're now going to introduce, poisons and toxins into your body, all these distractions, all these people who are on a completely different lifestyle, it's not going to work well, bro. And that's what I realized, man. Like, trying to be in the middle does not work. Everybody preaches balance. They're like, oh, bro, you got to be balanced. You got to be balanced. It's okay if you want to drink sometimes, but that doesn't work for a lot of people. And for me, it doesn't work because like alcohol is just, I love to drink. Like, I love mixed drinks. I love drinking wine, beer. I love everything, right? And yeah, it's great. You have a fun time and everything, but it's like, dude, like the distraction that comes with that, right? The distraction that comes with that, the level of the lack of discipline that starts to form from these bad habits that we do, even if it's infrequent, is still enough to sneak in there and really disrupt your flow and disrupt your disciplined way of life. And so this is what I've started to realize, and I'm thinking I'm not going to be going back. I mean, everything has improved. Everything has massively improved. I mean, my wake up times, my discipline, my ability to be productive and create content, even my emotional state. Because I'm not, when you do these things, sometimes either when you're waking up, you feel like shit, right? It's like a hangover. So then you don't really feel like training that day. You don't really feel like eating right, or you just feel emotionally kind of like either you have guilt or you kind of have regret about doing it. And that's a low vibrational state. Like, why would you want to intentionally put yourself into that state? It just doesn't really make any sense. And I think the really only reason we do it and it's so prevalent is because, number one, it's a painkiller, right? Any of these bad habits that we do, drugs, alcohol, anything like that, they're painkillers. So the problems you have in your life, you're trying to basically kind of make yourself feel more comfortable so you don't have to experience that pain. Like for my own life, for example, a couple of years ago when I was just working a job and I was kind of getting sick of it. I didn't like it. I was working on like a register doing kind of customer service, and it was fine for like the first year or whatever. But then it just started to get like, dude, like what am I doing with my future? I just couldn't take it anymore. And I would go home and I would drink. And that was the period in my life where I was drinking like every day, every other day, because I was trying to make myself feel better about that. And I was trying to get rid of that pain. I didn't want to keep feeling that feeling. So I would drink in order to, have that pain go away. As a teenager, like when I was in my late teens, I wanted to get a girlfriend, right? But I didn't have a girlfriend and I was still single. And that kind of was a painful experience. And so like porn would be the thing that I would use to try to get rid of that pain, right? I would just watch porn and be like, oh, well, whatever, man. It is what it is. And it's like, dude, no, that's not how it is. And so what I'm trying to get at here is when you have these pain points in your life and these problems, if you try to cover them up and you try to push them away via these substances, via these behaviors and these habits that are just not good for you, you will stay in the same position. You won't actually move, because what causes people to actually grow and progress and move forward? Well, it's being in pain. It's having a problem that's painful enough for you to go take action. So if you're constantly numbing yourself with these painkillers, you don't feel the pain enough to actually move forward. So you stay in the same place year after year after year. And this is what I noticed was, even when it came to alcohol, just drinking it, not crazily, not every day, not even necessarily every single weekend, but even just having that in my mindset of that this is okay to do sometimes and it's balanced, blah, blah, blah. It was a comforting feeling that really kind of made me feel better in terms of the pain that was in my life and the problems I'm experiencing and the growth that I need to go through. And that makes me move slower. It keeps me comfortable. And so you move slower, you grow slower, and it just takes years and years and years away from the potential and the level that you could be at. So this is really what it comes down to for me in terms of quitting alcohol. It's really more of like removing the ceiling that's kind of pushing me down in terms of my ability to grow as a human. And for me, I found 100% I operate and I'm way better around, like, to the people that are around me. I'm way better in terms of the operations, in terms of my business. I'm way better in terms of hitting my workouts and everything when I just go cold turkey. Like, I'm not good at doing the in-between thing. When it comes to high dopamine sort of behaviors and habits where you can get a lot of dopamine from them, I'm just best when I just completely cut those out. So if you have a similar personality to me, bro, don't try to be in the middle. Don't try to have balance like everybody's telling you to do. That's the other thing about balance too, is like everyone's like, oh yeah, you got to have balance. And it's like, dude, like extreme growth, rapid transformation does not come from having balance. Rapid transformation comes from you putting all your energy and focus into one direction and going 100%. It doesn't come from you being like a weekend warrior and drinking on the weekends and then getting wasted so that you're not even prepared to work on Monday. You're setting yourself back. You're taking steps back. That's the thing, is like you make progress all week, and then once you get to Saturday and Sunday, you've been brainwashed to literally take 2 steps back so that you basically clear out and wash out all the progress you made. And this is especially important if you're someone who's wanting to get progressing on your fitness goals. Like you can't you can't consume tons of alcohol and be trying to get ripped. It's just going to make it 10 times harder. You're going to binge eat. The amount of calories that are in mixed drinks and beer and stuff is way more than you might think. And it just creates this situation where I just think it's not worth it. I think that at the end of the day, if you're going to be drinking and you want to progress, you're just coping. I think at the end of the day, you need to just completely cut it out. And the hard thing about that, the hardest thing about cutting this out is society is constantly on you, pushing it in your face. All the people you know, all your friends are constantly pushing it in your face. Any place you go out to in a public gathering, whether it's a bar or some event, it's going to be there. It's going to be in your face. Okay, it's just going to be. And the reality is you have to develop that discipline through your daily habits and your daily process of doing things you don't want to do to be able to say no. And you have to go through that detox process like I just did of 30 days plus in order for you to start to build that level of discipline so that when you are out, because you can't just hide from the world, right? You can't just hide from the world. It's in the grocery markets, it's at bars, it's everywhere you go. But you don't need to like hide away from the world. You just need to develop the discipline so that, and the self-respect that says, hey, when I give my word, I'm not going to do something, I'm not going to do it. And that's what I found has really worked for me. You know, I wake up at 4 a.m. That's difficult. I don't like to do that. I don't like waking up at 4 a.m. But when I do it, that's just another plus one to my discipline ability. That's just another win for me to stack for the day. And then when I come across the alcohol or the weed or drugs or any porn or whatever, I can just say no. And I can actually hold my word to myself because I've proved I can do it time and time and again with these other small things that are difficult to do. So yeah, 30 days, 30-day detox, no alcohol for 30 days. And my life has massively improved in terms of my discipline levels, in terms of my motivation, in terms of my energy, the way I feel about myself and life in general. And yeah, bro, I really think that you should consider possibly getting onto this lifestyle. And like I said, it's not easy because everyone around you is doing it. But the thing is this, do you, like when we look at 99% of people out here, 99% of people are living a pretty mediocre existence. I would say that most of the people I see are not really striving for greatness. They're not really pushing themselves outside of their comfort zone. They're not really leveling up to the point where they're going to reach their potential. So the question is, do you want to be like that 99%? Do you want to be like everybody else who's every single weekend, every single night, literally just drunk all the time, unable to really focus or push forward? Or do you want to be part of a smaller group, but a group that is living a more fulfilled, disciplined lifestyle, who's actually in shape? You know, we're not like just a ton of people who are just out here just broke, tired, fat. You know, do you want to live that life? Do you want to be that person? Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to happen to you if you continue doing these behaviors. Like the only difference between you and someone else who's successful is your daily habits. And if you want to become successful, I think what's been working for me is cutting out all these distracting habits, cutting out all these things that society says is okay and that society pushes on you. Because in my view, I think they want you to be drunk. They want you to be fat. They want you to be broke so that you're easier to control and so that there's less competition. But I'm not about that life. I'm not about that. I'm not going to take my literally one life that I have and just waste it away drinking. Like that's just fucking, it's bitch behavior. It really is. It's bitch behavior because you're so afraid of your problems and they're so painful to you that you, instead of getting outside your comfort zone and growing to meet those problems and fix that pain, you're just going to hide by drinking. You're just going to hide by watching porn and doing drugs. Like, no, I'm not about that, bro. So yeah, man, I think that's real talk. And I think at the end of the day, the people that you're hanging out with, if they don't want to hang out with you anymore because you don't drink, those are people that you shouldn't be around anyways at the end of the day. So that's my experience. I'm going to be continuing on this lifestyle. Last year, I did a 90-day. So this year, I'm planning on beating that, and I'm planning on getting to 360 days sober. So we'll see what happens next year. Around this time, we'll come back to this video, and we'll see how much progress I made from cutting out drinking, from cutting out porn, from cutting out weed, from cutting out all these distractions and vices that keep us in a lower vibrational state and that keep us from reaching our highest self. That's it for this video, man. Remember to keep ascending and become the greatest version of yourself. We'll see you in the next one.